drilling sound. It is coming from somewhere below us.
You're back. I don't suppose you found the rifle.
I have it right here.
Lord Devonsey was right about you. I don't know how to thank you enough. Please, take these items. I'm sure you'll need them before you've seen the last of Jane Cassinda.
I'm told that the tunnels are sealed and Jane's forces are repulsed. That was fine work. Now she's trying to drill her way inside at the base of the deep well. You heard the noise in the tunnels, no doubt.
What kind of drill are we talking about?
Goblin technology. Easy enough to procure if you have contacts in Stonebridge, and everyone does. We acquire our cannons the same way.
Phineas and I have prepared a trap for Jane. It will require all our remaining stores of black powder.
We'll need to shut down the stone stream, allow the combustible vapors to accumulate at the bottom of the well.
The stone stream? You mean the floating rocks in the middle of the deep well?
Not just the rocks, but yes, that's the most visible part. The stone stream is a system. It extends to every part of Glitterdelf. Think of the mines as a vast living creature, Which they are, in a sense. The stone stream is like a massive set of lungs, drawing clean air from outside and flushing out the explosive vapors in the mine.
Such a massive system. And it only controls the flow of air?
No. It's also like a heart, pumping clean water through the tunnels for drinking and getting rid of waste. It heats and cools the water too, which has the function of regulating temperature in different parts of the mine. Rather like sweat. I suppose there's no perfect metaphor. I'll have to work on that.
And this whole system was built using magic.
Ingenious, weren't they? The dwarves, I mean. They're the ones who created the stone stream. And now they're gone. No way to learn how the dwarves built all this except to puzzle it out myself.
Another casualty of the war. They died.
You're saying that the mines are full of explosive gas?
Some parts of the mines, yes. It's especially bad in the deep well, with gases rising from somewhere below. You'll see giant fans all over the mines. They're part of the stone stream, circulating the air so that the vapors don't grow too thick.
And what if the vapors do grow too thick? Has that ever happened?
In the early days of the mine, mostly. Only takes one spark to set them off. The Great Blast of 943. That was 350 years ago, but you still hear stories. Half the mines collapsed. Bad business.
So if the vapors collect at the bottom of the deep well, we can set off an explosion.
And consume Jane's army and fire. If any survive, they'll surely be crushed by falling rock, and their tunnel will be buried as well. I've taken some of the cannons that you saved from the swamp and set them at the bottom of the well. If Jane's forces break through the tunnel too soon, they'll provide a tactical advantage.
What do you think of our plan? Lord Devonsey is sure it will work, but I should like to hear the Legion's opinion too.
This is the best chance to inflict terrible losses on Jane, and still keep most of your people alive.
You must think of your own people first, Your Majesty. Jane's army will show them no mercy.
Most of Jane's soldiers are deluded and young. What a horrible way to die, for men and women who are little older than me. I'm sorry. You must think me silly and soft. If you and Lord Devonsey are agreed, then I shall trust your judgment.
Phineas will climb to the top of the well and shut off the stone stream. Will you go with him and keep him safe?
Are you worried about the creatures in the mines, or something more?
The dwarves had good reason to guard the stone stream, especially the main hub, the source of power for the whole system. I've never gotten close to the hub, only studied it from afar. But I'm sure it's protected, and I'm not much of a soldier. I suppose I made that clear enough in the swamp.
So you'll be at the bottom of the well, setting the black powder charges?
Roderick and his men are already at work. They're bringing the last of the charges below.
Phineas will be safe with me, as long as he stays close.
Right. I've got to fetch a few books and scrolls. I'll meet you at the top of the well. Platform for you. Step onto it. There you are. Let's hurry. I should be able to form a path to the center.
The stone stream. To think of the dwarves who built this device. All that they knew.
There it is. I've never been this close. Sad that we must put it to rest. This will take a few moments, and all of my focus. Sentinels! They won't stop until I halt the stone stream. Keep them back!
More sentinels, just like the ones at the chapter house.
It's like trying to hold back a river. I'm trying.
They draw their life from the stone stream. All we can do is hold them back.
It's beginning to stop. Just a little while longer.
We must buy Phineas time. Press the attack.
It's done. I need to rest a while. Go on, quickly. I'll be safe here.
Phineas did it, didn't he? The fans have stopped, which means that the well is going to be a dangerous place very soon. Unfortunately, it won't be soon enough. Jane's army broke through and her men are storming into the bedrock. Lord Devonsey and his soldiers are holding them off. Help them buy us some time to get our explosives ready. Then we'll send those bastards to Azanai.
The Royalists are fighting below. Maybe...
Fight for Queen Rosalind!
I'm glad you're safe. Look, down there. We held the high ground, but they're pushing us back. My soldiers need your help. You can take the floating platform to the bottom. Thanks to you, we still have our cannons from the swamp. We'll use them to cover you until Roderick signals us all to retreat. Do whatever you can to delay Jane's army. We need more time for the vapors to build up at the bottom of the well.
Already foul, but not enough to burn. Not yet.
Hold your peace. My Lady Jane Cassander calls parley.
Lower your weapons. We've come here to talk. I would know who leads my enemy's army. Tell me, why is your face so familiar? Are you the child of some lord that I've slain?
My father was Hugh Montbaron, Grand Master of the Legion. You murdered him in the Mornweald, and my mother died in your war.
And the girl? The one who stands with you? Why does an Archon fight against her own kind?
Be silent, traitor. You and your handmaids are no blood of mine.
My lady, I know them. These are the Legionnaires who spared my life in Raven's Rill.
Mercy from the Legion? I find that hard to believe. Unless it was some kind of ploy. Violence has always been the Legion's way. Ever since Hugh Montbaron murdered the old king. Did you plan the same for little Queen Mouse?
What did we do to earn your hate? It couldn't have been the death of some distant king.
Some distant king? Yes, he must seem so to you. The old king. The man your Legion sought to murder and displace. He was my father.
And your mother? Who was she?
An Archon. One of the last of her kind. Granted shelter and solace by my father, the king.
If your father was the old king, then you and Roslyn are family.
By blood, Roslyn is my niece. But I will never call her kin. Her family stood by, content to watch, while I destroyed the Legion and avenged our father. Only then did they turn against me. They raised an army to put me in chains. A mistake, they'd tell you.
If the royal family turned against you, they must have had good reason.
Good reason? Only if you count jealousy and fear. People had begun to whisper that the king had been my father. They were rumors, nothing more. But they worried the rightful heirs. I had no designs upon the throne. Not then. But neither would I go quietly to the noose. They created the very monster they feared.
Roslyn had no part in any of this, so why fight her?
Because Roslyn is weak. She could never rebuild this nation alone. She'll be forced to rely upon others, like your Legion. And you will have power over her. But that is what you want, is it not? I have no need to make such bargains. I am strong enough to rebuild my father's kingdom on my own. And greater powers, not of this world, have shown their favor of me. I will not fail.
Roslyn said nothing of this to me. Does she know that she's your niece?
Perhaps she doesn't know, if her family kept it from her. What better way to let a shameful secret die?
We've spoken enough about your father and his kin.
Now you know why I lay claim to this kingdom. I am well within my rights.
You say your mother was an Archon? A creature out of myth?
She came to this world with her sisters, seeking the lost gods they once served. Look no farther than the woman who fights at your side, if you don't trust my words. She is one of my mother's kind, whether she knows it or not.
I don't believe any of this. You offer no proof besides your word.
Does she think this story justifies all the evil she has done? No. She is a monster.
They need not be killed, my lady. We could offer exile, or...
Not to the Legion. No. I have heard the voices of my mother's lost gods. On this day, they will grant me victory over you and the Pretender Queen. This parley is finished. Remain here, and you will be slain. Try to run, and I will hunt you down. We shall not speak again.
Something is coming. Something very large.
The war beast lay dead, its fall testament to the might of the 10th Legion. But it seemed a Pyrrhic victory as the Azunite army pushed into the deep well. Hundreds of soldiers poured from the tunnels, easily outnumbering the Royalist forces. You and your allies fled before them, but this was not the defeat it might have seemed. Without the stone stream to refresh it, the air in the deep well was a seething cauldron of explosive gas, awaiting the merest spark. That spark the Royalists were all too happy to provide. The explosion collapsed the well, entombing the Azunites beneath the mountain, and shattering Jane Cassinder's hopes of destroying the Queen. Would that Cassinder herself had been buried there, along with her men. But such an end was not her fate.
Jane's army is fleeing down the mountain. The woman lives, but we're safe from her. For now.
The victory is yours. We owe the Legion our lives.
I'm told that Jane spoke to you. She mentioned the old king, no doubt. And the Legion's role in his murder.
She'd say anything to justify the things she's done. Maybe she's starting to believe her own lies.
She was trying to break our resolve. How can we trust her words?
A reasonable explanation, but her words were not lies. Jane Cassinder spoke the truth, as far as she understands it. The commanders of the Legion did conspire to unseat the old king. The goal was never to murder the old king, only to replace him with his eldest son. But the king resisted, and the matter went awry.
You must understand. My grandfather was a monster. Even his own children despised him.
I don't care if the king was a drooling madman. He was still the king, and the Legion had no right to unseat him.
Yes, I said much the same. But my opinion was not shared by my peers. The old king was prone to paranoia, irrational rages. He'd grown jealous of the Legion. We were too rich and too strong for his taste. Before long, he started seizing our chapter houses and estates, threatening to disband the Legion altogether. So Montbarron struck first.
If they didn't mean to harm the king, then why was he slain?
I wasn't there when it happened, but I'm told that the king drew a sword. The man wasn't much of a fighter, more a danger to himself than the Legionnaires. Who knows how he ended up with a blade in his gut? All the parties are long dead, and we shall never learn the truth.
We have a friend, an old Legion scout called Odo. Would he have known about the plot?
No. Montbarron told the rank and file nothing, so that they wouldn't share in his guilt. Little good it did them. They all died, innocent or not.
You were one of the Legion commanders. Weren't you part of the plot?
When the plan was put forward by Montbarron, I spoke against it. We had all made a vow to defend the crown, and it seemed to me that our word should be kept. But all the others disagreed. So I abandoned the Legion, left the hall, out the door, and never went back. The king was in the wrong, yes. But was treason our only recourse? I thought not.
You were the only one who abandoned the Legion over this?
A good friend followed me into exile. His name was Garin Marcel. We served the royal family as generals during the war with Jane. Garin died at the Battle of Drifter's Cross. Phineas is his son.
Another son of the Legion. I never thought to find so many in such an unlikely place.
Jane told me something else. She said that she was the king's illegitimate daughter.
Ah, the old rumors. I can't say for sure, but I am inclined to believe them.
Jane Cassinda shares my blood? What else have you not told me, Lord Devonsey? The woman lost her father. Her family betrayed her. That doesn't excuse what she's done, but at least now I understand. I would ask one more favor of the Legion. Should you meet her again, will you spare Jane Cassinda's life?
Your Majesty, she's been hunting you and your family for years. Why would you ask me to spare her life?
This mountain once bustled with dwarves, and now they are gone. Dead so that I might keep my crown. My parents, my maids and courtiers, all of Lord Devonsey's men. Too many have died for my sake.
Your Majesty, think of the political ramifications.
If Jane Cassinda dies, do you think the cities of the East will bow their heads? No. They will curse us for murdering their living saint, and the war will drag on.
Whereas if we come to an agreement and Jane is kept alive, the war ends peacefully.
You assume that the woman will surrender at all. I wouldn't make such a wager.
If she's willing to surrender, I'll let Jane live.
Lord Devonsey will surely chastise me for my gentle nature, but I am sure this is the right course. Whatever happens, the Legion has my trust and support.
I shall send riders to all the towns and villages that support the Queen with news of our alliance. You have the word of the Royal Court. All Western Ebb will stand united behind the Legion.
You've done. You will always be welcome here.
We must return to stop.
We've come a long way from that filthy swamp, haven't we? You've given us a victory that will be remembered for years to come. Escorting you to the causeway is the least that we can do. Are you ready to go?
Yes, let's head to the causeway.
We've had rumors of another battle. Is it true? Jane Cassinda's army retreating in disarray?
She is beaten. The only misfortune is that Jane herself survived.
And Rosalind, what did you think of her? Worthy to wear the crown or no?
She has a kind and temperate nature, but I saw some iron underneath. I think she'll make a good queen.
Kind and temperate is a far cry from her grandfather. Perhaps this exile has been a blessing for her family after all. What about our proposal? Does she favor the Legion?
Rosalind agreed to an alliance. She and Devonsey gave their word.
Well done. But that's not all, is it? The news can't all be good.
My father tried to unseat the old king. The murder was an accident, but Devonsey said...
No more. I don't want to hear. You think I hadn't guessed it was something like that? I still called it a lie. We can't tell this story, not ever.
The people already heard this from Jane. It's too late to hide the truth.
If we win this war, Jane will be dead. Her words become lies, and ours become truth.
You're wrong, Odo. The story needs to be told, or the lesson will never be learned.
And what then? The people won't blame Montbaron. They'll paint the whole Legion with the same bloody brush. Kingslayers forevermore. We'll be feared. No matter how virtuous we seem, we'll always be a threat.
We'll keep telling the people that the Legion is innocent, just as we always have.
If Ebb is better served by a lie, then our course is clear.
What would the Legion founders have said? I can't believe they'd favor such a calculated lie.
Who knows? All we have are stories. That's the point. Those stories won the trust of the people. And without their trust, we wouldn't exist at all. Better this way, Martin. You'll see.
Jane Cassinda is the daughter of the old king. She told me herself. You never knew?
I always thought that was just a rumor. This changes things.
If Jane Cassinda is the old king's daughter, then she has a claim to the throne. Probably thinks it's her right.
Better to strike now while she's off balance. Still reeling from her loss at Glitterdelve.
Jane must have a stronghold, and it's probably well guarded. We need an army of our own.
What forces can we raise quickly enough before Jane has a chance to recover?
We've already sealed an alliance with the Meisters. Perhaps they'll lend us their automaton army.
Jane could be anywhere. Do you know where she's gone?
Jane's capital is 5 days' march from here, maybe more. She calls it the Spire. Half cathedral, half fortress, on the summit of a mountain. That's where she'll be. The most impregnable stronghold in Ebb.
I'll speak to the council. I think the Meisters will agree.
Hard to predict what the council will do, but you're probably right. We'll wait for your word.
Please spend your currency at local markets. Please spend your currency at local markets.
Ah, the envoy from the 10th Legion. Always a pleasure to receive our good friend.
We plan to attack Jane Cascinder, but we can't defeat her alone. The Legion needs your automaton army.
And leave our city undefended? That, seems rather rash, does it not?
Irrelevant. We made a contract with the Legion, Meister Grimmelhaus. The Council is not above the law.
I suppose...
Capital! I can have the automatons ready at short order. Shall I make ready to leave? I should warn you, we may not return to Stonebridge again before this war is over.
How many automatons are left? I destroyed a lot of them.
The Gent only managed to take control of about half of our automatons, and not all of those were destroyed, so the army is intact. Jane's forces may outnumber us, but her soldiers have never faced automatons before. I dare say that will work in our favor.
I don't see any reason to wait. We'll leave for the Spire as soon as you're able.
The Spire stands atop Mount Jereb. That's a week's march from here, on foot. Our automatons will assault the town of Aegis Bay at the foot of the mountain. They'll engage Jane's forces and provide a distraction, you see. That will give you a chance to climb the trails to the top of the mountain and assault the Spire itself. It will be an honor to fight alongside the Legion, and may fortune smile upon our endeavor.
At long last, the tide turned. No longer was the 10th Legion fighting a defensive war. With the automaton army of Stonebridge behind us, we took the battle to our enemy. Under the command of Martin Guiscard and Meister Wolf, our army poured forth from Stonebridge in a flood of iron and flame. The journey was a long one and difficult. Had you marched with soldiers of flesh and blood, I do not doubt that many would have died, but the automatons were tireless. At last you reached your goal, the Spire. Crowning the sacred mountain of Jereb, it was the heart of Jane Cassinder's strength. No army had ever conquered it. Azunite zealots and Stonebridge automatons clashed at the mountain's foot. Blind faith and cold reason struggled for dominance as the ground churned with oil and blood. Above the clamor of the battle, you ascended a forgotten path up the mountain, seeking the Spire itself.
Wait, no weapons. We've come to talk, not to fight.
Quickly, Rashani. We shouldn't be here.
Jane doesn't know you're here, does she?
We only speak for ourselves, not for Our Lady.
Jane is first among our sisters, like her mother before her. We don't want to betray her, but...
Jane has lost her way. She talks of visions and dreams. A great tree, carrion birds. She claims to hear the voices of our lost gods in her mind, and that proves she is mad.
Maybe she is hearing the voices of your gods.
Our gods are dead, tumbled from the heavens and gone. We sought them long, across 1,000 divine realms, and never found a trace.
Not true, sister. Jane's mother claimed to have discovered a remnant, a forgotten seed of the first creation, the handiwork of our gods. But none of us ever saw.
What kind of seed do you mean?
She never told us the form it took, only that she could sense the power that shaped the world, still alive and potent within.
What gods do you mean?
The creator gods, who we served long ago, or so we have always believed. We have no memories of them, only stories that we tell, and faith that they are true.
Jane commands the Azunite Church, but she worships these creator gods in secret?
She claims to be faithful to Azunai, so that her followers won't abandon her. And she doesn't deny that he is real. But her true faith, her secret faith, has always been to our gods, to the gods of her mother.
So what do you propose?
You spared my life in Raven's Rill. And when you spoke to Jane in Glitterdelve, you weren't the monster that she said you'd be. I don't want to see my sisters destroyed in Jane's pointless war. Too few of us are left. We ask for your mercy, for our sisters and for Jane herself. In return, we'll grant you whatever aid we can.
I promised the Queen that I'd spare Jane's life. I'll try to spare your sisters too.
So Jane was wrong about you after all. When Rajani told me, I didn't believe.
Beyond this gate is the Bailey Garden filled with soldiers. They're fanatics, loyal only to Jane. They think her a saint, and you'll never sway them. At the far side of the garden is a door, protected by a magical seal. Two of our sisters fashioned that seal from their own living fire. Now their lives are tied to the seal. To pass the door, you would need their consent, and that they'll never give. So you'll have to find them and kill them.
Will I find the two Archons in the Bailey Garden or somewhere else?
They can't venture far from the seal. Each of them lives in a tower on either side of the garden. We never go inside those towers. We never even go near them, so we can't say what you'll find.
I thought you wanted me to spare your sisters' lives.
Those two, the ones who watch the gate, they're different. No one speaks of them. Not anymore.
The spell they wove has driven them mad. They don't even answer to their old names. We only know them as the Archon of Vengeance and the Archon of War.
And on the other side of the door?
The Chancel, a place of worship for the zealots who call Jane.
And by zealots, you mean her soldiers and priests?
In the beginning, they were useful tools, nothing more. An army to protect her from the royal family. She didn't believe she was really a saint. But now, as I said, she's lost her way.
Enough about this spire. I should be able to find my way.
As you wish. Can we tell you anything more?
Are there any hidden places, secrets that Jane wouldn't want me to find?
The dungeon, underneath the Bailey Garden that lies just ahead. Jane keeps her most valuable prisoners there. Look for the stone centerpiece in the middle of the garden. The door to the dungeon is hidden in its base. But you can only open the door by stepping on a golden pressure plate, hidden in the corner of the garden.
You haven't told me where I'll find Jane.
No need. She'll find you.
She's somewhere in the spire, probably watching using our eyes as her own. She'll know that we've betrayed her.
You should leave this place, and stay away from our soldiers. They'll take you for enemies.
No, wait. The girl who travels with you. Why doesn't she know who she is?
We may share the same eyes. And yes, I can call fire like you. But I've never seen you before. I'm not one of your sisters.
But you're wrong. We know you. Don't you remember the place where you died?
Anjali might resemble your dead sister, but they can't be the same.
Unless she was reborn, called back to life. And that could mean that our gods are not lost.
We shouldn't talk of such things. Not here. Not with Jane so close. We'll wait for now. The meaning will make itself clear. be judged.
screams of dying men, the stench of burst guts, sweltering heat of battle lust, taste of copper and fear. Armies wheel and clash, steel turns to flame in the morning sun, forever and unchanging. War without end, war without end. What is this? The foeman seeks to steal a march. To arms! To arms! May the line hold strong!
Injustice. Injustice gives way to trespass. Trespass demands redress. Redress comes only through blood. If the son strikes the father, let his hand be hewn off. If the serf wounds the noble, let him suffer the lash. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. If a man should trespass, let his feet be seared with hot coals, and let him be whipped from the city!
closer we come to the chancel, the more I feel drawn toward it. Or just only Jane is worshipped here, not Azunai. They call her a saint, but they treat her like a god.
And here is the Legion, their hands washed with innocent blood. 30 years, and nothing has changed.
A woman who calls herself a saint might have learned to forgive by now.
Do not seek to twist my words. I shall not suffer the treachery of the Legion. Not again. I say to you, lay down your arms. The days of your Legion are past and gone. When I faced the traitor Mott Baron, the gods of my mother struck him down. And they shall guide my hand against you now! You cannot stand before my righteousness! Now there's no pain! Your bloodline has been a thorn in my side long enough. Now, at last, it ends. My righteousness! No pain! Allies. How much longer can you hope to stand against me? For my righteousness! Now you will know Shadow Pain! And here is the Legion. Oh. Running out of allies. How much longer can you hope to stand against me?
A wo-
You cannot stand before my righteousness! My mother stands with me. Now you will know pain! Feel my wrath! Nothing but the ghosts of your broken legion. You cannot stand before my righteousness! a thorn in my side long enough. Now, at last, it ends. For my righteousness! Now you will know pain! I still have the favor of my mother's gods.
Look, Jane's trying to get away. After her.
The fires in this place give us strength, Legionnaire. My handmaids and I will burn you to dust. You cannot stand before my righteousness! Now you will know pain! Your bloodline has been a thorn in my side long enough. Now, at last, it ends. Feel my wrath! are running out of allies. How much longer can you hope to stand against me? Now there's no pain!
My handmaids!
Jane's fleeing again. The woman's got no shame.
You have defeated my Archons, crushed my soldiers, defiled this most holy of places. No more. The gods of my mother stand with me, while you have nothing but the ghosts of your broken legion.
If any of you pretend to piety, pray to your gods now.
Bloodline has been a thorn in my side long enough. Now, at last, it ends.
Back into the fray.
Legionnaires of old.
I will not bow my head to you. Neither will I grovel or beg.
Give yourself up, and we'll treat you with respect.
You mistake me. I do not concede defeat to the Legion. So you need not offer terms. My gods have not abandoned me. Not yet. They dance like shadows at the corner of my eye. And they whisper in my ear. I will go before the gods of my mother, appeal to them for aid, and call her fallen sisters back from death. And when I return, we shall drive you from this kingdom that is mine by right.
Where is Jane? Is she...
Vanished. She went to find her mother's gods, to appeal to them for help.
But they are long dead. Unless she means... The forest. The place you call the Mournweald. It grew from a seed of the first creation. Perhaps it contains an echo of our gods.
She thinks she can restore the other Archons to life with the help of her gods.
Our legends say that no Archon could ever truly die. Their fires could always be kindled again if our gods willed it so. If Jane restored them all to life, she would have an army behind her.
Just how many Archons were there when your gods were alive?
We counted ourselves as numerous as the stars in the sky. Indeed, the stars were fashioned in our honor, one for each of our sisters. Or so the stories tell us.
And this seed, could it take the form of a tree?
I don't know. None of us were able to enter the forest, except for Jane's mother, and Jane herself. But I suppose it would take an appropriate form. If it gave birth to a forest, it might appear as a tree, yes.
Are you saying that your gods aren't dead? A part of them lives on?
Any fragment of the first creation would contain all the power of our gods, and perhaps a remnant of their minds as well. They would only exist as a potential, a possibility, but even in such a reduced state, they would be strong.
So the visions that Jane sees, the voices that speak to her in her mind...
They might be real, not dreams born of madness at all. The souls of our gods may be speaking to her, guiding her. But Jane's purpose, to take this kingdom as her own, that is hers alone. Our gods would never have counseled her thus. Perhaps her mind is shaping them, more than they are shaping her.
We've got to follow Jane. How can we get to the Mournweald from here?
Jane built this place on the ruin of a Legion stronghold. I've seen one of your causeways in the dungeon below. The gate was hidden behind a locked door, but Jane entrusted her handmaids with a key. I have it here.
I tried not to harm the other Archons, but I couldn't be sure they survived.
Thank you. They are alive, all of them. Soraya is with them now. I know my sisters. They'll see Jane's defeat as a sign that she led us astray. None of us will follow her again.
Now that Jane has fled, where will you and your sisters go?
We'll wait here for news. You cannot blame us if we hope that Jane might still be saved.
Martin, what about our army? Has the battle ended?
We've won. but only thanks to you. A few of Jane's people surrendered. The others all fled.
You're too humble, Martin. I didn't win your battle for you.
No, I don't mean to be modest. We held our own, but we never have swept them off the field. When the fire burst from the top of the tower, the fighting nearly stopped, with everyone straining to see. Then the fire went out, and Jane's army knew that she'd lost. They ran like autumn leaves before a storm.
Can we take the elevator down to the dungeon?
Yes. No need to stop in the chancel. It will take you all the way to the dungeon below.
I'm with you. Let's go and see if this causeway is still intact.